Yo, what is up guys, it's Ghost here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what I would normally be doing in the Battlefield universe. We're actually going to be checking out a VR game. So you'll probably notice here I'm sitting in the cockpit of a helicopter, and we're going to be trying some VTOL VR. Now I have done one video on this in the past. This is one of my absolute favorite flight sims, and it may not have as pretty graphics as Microsoft Flight Simulator or DCS, but what it doesn't have there, it makes up for in the hand controls and the gestures. So what we're going to do today is take off in the AH-94 attack helicopter, go and do a mission, and I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. So I'm going to go ahead and change the camera angle so you guys can see what I see, and then we will start this beautiful helicopter up. Alright, so first things first, when we're starting up, we've got to get some power going here. So we're going to start by turning on the main battery, then we can turn on the APU, or the auxiliary power unit, and essentially this will just allow us to get the aircraft going. We'll be able to start one of the engines, and in a minute, once both the engines are going, we can turn the auxiliary power unit off. So while the RPMs on that one are spooling up, once they're up there into the green, looking nice and healthy, we can hit up the left engine. And then we want to go ahead and turn on all of our displays here, the MFD, the radar warning relay, and these smaller ones here as well. Then we can go ahead and increase the throttle to the idle position. We also want to take the rotor brake off so the rotors are free to rotate. Not much is going to happen without that. And it's getting kind of noisy, so let's just go ahead and close the door there. So now the left engine is done, we can go ahead and spool up the right engine too, and you'll see here on the RPM gauge this second needle coming up represents the second engine. And then we can go ahead and put the throttle all the way up to flight mode. We're not going to take off or anything, but you'll notice all the RPMs starting to come up here and the rotor spinning up to the correct speed so we can actually take off. I'm now going to go switch this screen here to the autopilot, and then we can go ahead and turn off the APU since the engines are now powering things up. With these two displays, I kind of like to have, navigation, I think it's better to have on the right screen, and then on the left screen, I prefer to have the TADS, basically the targeting pod, so we need to put some power on there, and that's what we're going to use to essentially use the weapon systems. Also, before I forget, we definitely want to turn this one on here, so we can see all of the HUD indication. So our objective here is to head to the first waypoint and destroy all units at said waypoint. So we're going to go back to the navigation screen, and we're going to click objective, and that will give us a waypoint which is 22 kilometers-ish over in that direction there. So we are pretty much now good to just take off. So now we're in the air, we can put our landing gear up, take off the parking brake. We probably should have taken off the parking brake on the ground, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but being in a helicopter with a vertical takeoff, it doesn't really matter too much. So this is just one of the things that is so awesome about this game. You're just free to look around. I don't know if you guys have a VR headset for PlayStation or for PC or anything, but if you ever get the chance to experience VR, guys, I really thoroughly recommend it. But if you can't, hopefully you guys will get some joy out of this video here on the channel.
Okay, so the bad guys started sending troops into the area, and it looks like they're setting up little camps for their VTOL jets to re-arm and refuel. We were able to catch it early, so they aren't fully operational yet. They don't have much beyond small arms, so you should be able to wipe them out, no problem. The first one's deep in these woods by the foothills.
Right, so it sounds like we've got some small arms, probably just infantry soldiers, but they might have man pads or something like that, so we have to be always on the lookout and kind of wary, ready to use countermeasures. Now, since we've got a few kilometers to go here, I'm just going to show you guys, just for fun, how the autopilot system works. So if you go ahead and you press heading and altitude, I can basically let go of the gear, not the gear stick, sorry. I can let go of the cyclic, and that will just keep us going in that particular heading. So you can see at the moment it's at 211. We're pretty much bang on course, but if I wanted to alter this, you can just press the plus or the minus there, or the left and right, and it will change that. If I want to gain a bit of altitude, you can just put us up to 1330 and we'll go and stay at that particular height.
They're getting real bold coming out of this side of the mountain range. Haven't seen them this far in years. Let's remind them to keep their hands to themselves. Now, I hope I don't need to remind you not to wander onto the other side of that tall ridge. They've got a huge network of air defenses and won't hesitate to send a fighter or three to intercept you.
Okay, so since he's just warned us about air defenses, I'm going to lower our altitude down to around 500 here. Just so... maybe a little bit higher than that. It looks like we're maybe going to crash into the trees. There we go. Good at about 900. So there's two different ways in this game that you can target. First of all, we obviously want to make sure that our weapons are armed. You can use the targeting pod like this and sort of slew it around. And if you go ahead and select the... we'll turn off the autopilot for a second. You guys will see my cannon down there, so you can select a target down there, and then you can fire away. The other way you can do it is with head tracking. So you can simply just look, and the cannon will fire in that direction and follow wherever your head is tracking. So both of these systems are super handy because this allows you to find targets very quickly, and then if you aim down there and then click around, you can then use the thumbstick on the controller instead to get a more accurate reading. You can also use the head tracking to zoom in, which is very nice. So in a second, once we get up to our marker here, we'll do exactly that. So we're going to cycle around here, and there is our target.
Take out anything you see. Don't worry, that bullshot probably doesn't have any fuel.
So we've got some info down there as well. Oh boy, they're launching missiles from there. I've kind of overshot this objective a little bit, I'm not going to lie, so we're going to come around again here and sort of hover around these guys and just pick them off with the M230, which is our 30mm cannon. So if we look down there, we've got some info, and we can then use this screen to target them. Those two guys are down. Here we've got a guy in the tower. One there too. And then we've got the launcher there. And we've gotten out of range of our gimbal, so let's go ahead and... oh, those two guys in the tower look like they've survived. Lucky.
Good work. Now move on to Outpost Bravo. Remember to keep an eye out for man pads. You never know.
You never know indeed. Okay, we're going to proceed here onto Bravo Outpost and go and deal with those. Alright, so we're gaining altitude here over this mountain range. Not sure if you guys can see down there, but I've been flying up this mountain for a while now. And while we're here on autopilot, I figured I'd just give you guys a little explanation about some of the stuff you can actually do in this game if you guys are interested in purchasing it. So at the moment, you've got 4 different vehicles in the game. If you guys go back and watch my previous video that I made, I think a couple of years ago at this point, that is on the first starting plane in the game. This game did, you know, primarily start off with jets, and they've now just added this helicopter DLC, which is really cool. But so far there are 3 different jets for the game, and there's this helicopter as well. But the real beauty of it is that it's fully open for modding. People can make their own scenarios for this game, and you're free to just go ahead and download those. And they've also recently added multiplayer support, so as you will notice, this is a 2-seater here. And actually, if I go and switch seats here, this is the gunner position. So if you were playing with a friend online, for example, then one of you could fly the helicopter and the other could do the gunning. And indeed, in multiplayer mode, you can do that. In fact, I might make another video of that at some point, show you guys how that works, because it really is a special experience. Okay, so we're about 10-11 kilometers out here. And I'll show you guys some of the other weapon systems and how they work in this game. So we've used the cannons there. To be honest, the cannons on this thing, the 30mm, are so powerful you can pretty much use them for most applications. But I think we're going to use our optical fire and forget AGM-145s here. So these missiles, you can lock them on, and then they will just fire, and you don't have to keep the lock. They're not laser guided.
Yep, that's Outpost Bravo. Looks like they have a few vehicles parked up there, but no real resistance. Destroy anything you see.
Okay, so we flared those missiles there.
A couple of guys moving towards those bull sharks.
I was honestly not expecting
things are
that.
operational, you're gonna want to take them out before they take off.
Yeah, let's get these guys dead. Let's see. There's one there. He's down. Those three are down. I think most of the stuff is down. What's that there? Oh, we've got a tank down there. Okay, let's go.
Oh man, they're taking off now. No worries, we'll send a Foxtrot over to help. Just try to steer clear of those things if they get aggressive.
Nah, I don't think they're taking off. I think we're good. Let's see. Are you taking off? No, there's nobody taking off. What we'll do is we'll go down there. We'll go ahead and take this thing out with our fire and forget missiles. Just to show you guys, I could kill this with the cannons, of course, but it's fun just to use the missiles instead. You guys can see on the GP down there.
Okay, all targets destroyed. We've got one last thing for you. We're aware of some activity in the high mountains, and it's got us a little worried. It's probably nothing but worth checking out while you're out in the area. Just fly to the waypoint, and we'll give you some further instructions when you get there.
Okay, so last objective here, 40 kilometers away, so I'm going to skip ahead here, and I will see you guys when we're there. What is our objective here? Use TADs to get an ID on targets in the area. Okay. Well, I just do... Aha, there they are. What have we got there? What is this?
Looks like they're trying to expand their air defenses up here. You're not going to be able to destroy that bunker, but the radar is probably pretty valuable. Take it out before they get to turning it on and you can come home.
Okay. Here we'll use our smart missiles for this one. Once we get close enough with the nose here.
Alright, great job. That's all I have for you today. Bring it home.
There is one more there, actually. Let's switch to our cannon quickly here. Oh, the guys in the bunker are not very happy. Let's get away. He did mention before that we wouldn't be able to take out that bunker, so we're not going to bother going for that. Alright, so that's it. Return to base. So, if we press, sorry, let's reset here, there we go. We hit RTB, that stands for return to base, and then we get a waypoint for where the base is. Put our landing gear down. Where were those helipads? I think it's over there where our friendlies are on the ground. You can actually land this thing in, it's got two different modes in it. So it's got the sort of regular helicopter mode, I guess you could call it, which allows you to travel laterally much faster. But then you've also got hover mode, so if you hit altitude hold and hover here, and I just let go of everything, it should just level the helicopter out. And you guys will see that the gauge there on the left, which normally shows what the collective is set at, is now changed to a hover altitude gauge. So if it's in the middle, your altitude is going to stay the same. If you push it down, you're going to start to descend. and if you pull it up, you will start to ascend. So, and then this time we can just use the cyclic to sort of move around in a much more controlled fashion, but also a much slower way of moving as well. So you're really just creeping forward. You can see the meters there towards the objective are just going down. So this is more like a very fine-tuned kind of way to land. Okay, let's go ahead and turn off the autopilot systems. Woohoo! Okay. You can see there we really swung down, because as soon as those autopilots go off, you're pretty much on your own again. Oh, it's telling me to... Oh, here are the helipods. Okay, let's try and come in slow here. We're in a bit of a spin. That is not exactly ideal. Oh.
Ground crew station ready.
Not the smoothest landing I've ever done, if I'm honest. Yeah, definitely done smoother landings than that before. But, there you go. That's actually landing these things is one of the hardest in this game. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been something a little bit different, not something I do every day here on the channel. Normally we cover Battlefield, but sometimes it's nice to just, you know, break the monotonous Battlefield complaining with something a little bit fresh. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. By all means, if you did, leave the video a like and let me know in your comments down below what you thought of the video. Would you like to see more VTOL VR? Like I mentioned, I would love to do some multiplayer coverage of this game as well, and I'm sure the guy who's making this is going to release more cool content in the future. So let me know if that's something you want to see or not. Subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.